Arlynn here. Welcome back to my Country Craft Corner and Arlynn's Travels. How in the world are you guys doing today? It is so good to see you again, and thank you so much for stopping back by to see what I'm up to. And what I'm up to today is we are actually sitting in Sitka, Alaska, and it is raining cats and dogs outside. And Chris and I decided not to go ashore. But we are going to be meeting Barb and Dawn, I think, after they eat some lunch for card playing. But I have some time here, so I thought I would go ahead and tell you all about our day in the beautiful Glacier Bay National Park, you guys, and Reserve. I don't even know where to start. I guess I'll just start at the beginning because that's all this video is going to be about is Glacier Bay, y'all. It is the most beautiful place on the planet. And I'm going to tell you a little story here. As most of you know, Chris and I lost our oldest daughter to natural causes back in November of 2023. And we were not able to go to Alaska in the 24 season. So we had other cruises booked. It was too hard. We just couldn't do it. So I had been yearning, absolutely yearning to go back to Glacier Bay, y'all. And when we pulled in there yesterday, even though it wasn't the most beautiful day we've ever seen in Glacier Bay, it did not disappoint. As always, it did not disappoint. So, okay, I think I stopped the last video when we were at Icy Strait Point. And so we did not have very far to go at all to get to Glacier Bay. It is right, Icy Strait and Glacier Bay the mouth to Glacier Bay is very close. That evening when we got back to our stateroom after dinner, we had our Princess Patter, which we always have every evening. And look at the whale on there. And we also had your guide to Glacier Bay National Park and Preserve. So we had a whole brochure to tell us all about Glacier Bay and what we were going to see. That's Marjorie Glacier there on the front there, and that's what she looks like. It's beautiful, and everything about the bay. And so this was a wealth of information. And then we also got a Glacier Bay map that we were pointed to by park rangers who came on board. I'll get back to that in a second. But the national park provides this map that I put on the wall and that we referred to as we were going, making our way back to Marjorie Glacier, which is where our trip culminated, was back here at Marjorie Glacier. In front of it is the Grand Pacific Glacier, and then Marjorie Glacier is kind of on the side. And you can't go any further because of the Grand Pacific Glacier, which is dubbed the Dirty Glacier, and because it looks really filthy dirty. And then because it is. Then on the back of it, you can see all the wildlife you might see. We did see goats yesterday. Yes, we did. Let me see. Let me look on here and tell you what we literally did see, and I can show you some pictures. We did see goats, mountain goats. We did see a humpback whale. We saw many otters that Chris took some fabulous pictures of. And we saw a humpback whale, which you normally don't see in Glacier Bay. But anyway, like I said, I put this up on the wall. We referred to this quite a bit. And then just to let you know some information from Princess that need to know, enjoy your day in Glacier Bay. To allow you to enjoy your Glacier Bay experience to the fullest, we do not schedule any events or activities that could distract your attention from the views and commentary in this special place. The casino on board will close. There will be no shipboard announcements except by the rangers and no advertising of onboard services. Don't forget to watch Welcome to Glacier Bay on your stateroom TV. Marine Wildlife Watch. Look for the National Park Rangers roving the outside decks and the viewing lounges this afternoon as we travel through Lower Glacier Bay, where you are likely to spot humpback whales and other marine wildlife. Please do not feed the wildlife. The feeding of wildlife includes seabirds while in Glacier Bay National Park. It is strictly prohibited as this may cause dependency upon the food source, which when removed may upset the delicate balance of nature. In addition, some food items may cause illness or disease, thereby further disrupting the ecological system. That is super important. Don't feed the wildlife. Important notice, during the Glacier Bay National Park visit, no plastic or paper items susceptible to blowing overboard are to be used on open decks. Princess has established a hotline telephone number and website to permit reporting of any environmental concerns. Satellite TV and internet reception. Due to the geographic position of our ship, there may be occasions when we are not in the reception region of the satellite coverage, and we were a couple of times. There was no coverage. This has caused the limited transmission available. We will do our best to maintain the highest broadcast internet quality possible. Thank you for understanding. Princess is, I'm telling you, you guys, Holland America and Princess hold the corner on, for one thing, all of Alaska cruises, in my humble opinion, and also for Glacier Bay. There's only currently I think five cruise lines that are allowed in Glacier Bay. I can't remember them all right now, and I don't have them on my computer, but Princess and Holland and Norwegian are three. Seabourn maybe, and I can't remember the other ones, you guys. But anyway, all of this information, they also give you I got a text, sorry about that. I'll get back to that in a second. They also give you a kind of a schedule of events. I never did go find the park ranger setup. Let me back up and say, early in the morning, the park rangers come over from Bartlett Cove, which is where they live in the, during the season, during the Alaska cruising season, and probably beyond. I really don't know. But they come over on their boat, and here's their boat. And they come from the starboard side, but come around to the port side, and then they climb on to the cruise ship. And they have a setup, and I did not take pictures of it this time. I'm so sorry. I have taken pictures of it in the past. But they come on with otter pelts, I believe, and I think you could get your national park passport stamped. They come on with Alaska Geographic that sells books and scarves and pins and maybe magnets and things like that. So do go by, if you've never seen them before, do go by, stop by to, it tells you they were set up in the Explorer's Lounge down on deck 6 for our day. Sometimes they're set up in the inside pool. Other times they were set up, like on the Sapphire, they were set up on the upper bar that was way up on like 15 or something. So, we just aren't sure until the day where they'll be set up. But do stop by and talk to them. They also have a junior ranger program that they set up, and that they offer the kids. Ranger Bridge commentary begins at 8:15. So they came on. Do you remember what time they came on, honey? Like 6:15 or 6:30, I think they came on the ship. He's saying, the Rangers did. And then they set up all their wares, and then they head to the bridge, and they wander the decks. They also give talks through the day once we've gotten to Marjorie Glacier. All commentary can be heard on the open decks, most public venues, and your stateroom TV via the bridge camera. And it gave us a time frame of when we were going to be at. You're going to see 5 tidewater glaciers during the day. We really didn't get a chance to put our eyes on Johns Hopkins Glacier yesterday, but that's usually one you will see. Starting with Reed Glacier, Lamplugh Glacier, Johns Hopkins Glacier, Marjorie Glacier, and the Grand Pacific Glacier. So I do have pictures, and we'll start showing, probably already started showing you pictures of the glaciers. And it was a cloudy, kind of misty day yesterday, and it didn't bother us one bit. I'm telling you, we had, Cheryl is next to us, and we had our partition open between our balconies, and we had our doors, we had the deadlock bolt turned so that anybody who wanted to, they knew we were here. They knew that they could come and go as they wanted. So people would come in and come through and come out on the balcony and watch. And we had a wonderful time with, you know, a lot of the folks that are sailing on this trip with us. It's just Glacier Bay to me. It never disappoints, no matter what the weather is. Sometimes you're going to have a day like we had yesterday. Some days are going to be sunny and beautiful, which we've seen those too. The glacier is going to look different, and the glaciers are going to look different in different light. So before we got into, well, as we were entering Glacier Bay, we did see some otters, but I'm going to get back to the otters in a minute. I took some pictures of the otters we saw really early in the morning, and my pictures did not turn out because it was still too dark outside, and with the water being dark, my pictures were just terrible. Later in the day, Chris took some pictures and I will share those with you, and you will be amazed at the shots he got later in the day as we're coming back out of Glacier Bay in the same area. I always say, you know, go out on your balcony an hour before you're scheduled to go into Glacier Bay and look for otters. Yesterday, those little boogers didn't come out until we were in Glacier Bay. That is different from every other year that we've ever come into Glacier Bay. They have always been out in the water like little motorboats, coming one after the other, after the other, after the other, for probably 45 minutes or so before we went into Glacier Bay. Yesterday, right as we entered the bay, there they came. Well, actually, we were a little bit further into Glacier Bay before we started seeing them. So they made me look like a little bit of a fibber there for a little while. Cheryl and I were like, uh-oh, where are the otters? Come on, little guys. And then they did show up. And then we saw, so I don't even have any pictures right now to show you of the otters. I'll show you some, like I said, at the end. But then the park ranger came on the television and said, oh, over on the starboard side, if you look at this, I can't remember the name of the rock, Knobby Rock or something like that. If you look over there, you're going to see some mountain goats. And so I took the big camera with me and ran out and went out to the back aft facing deck here on the Coral Princess. I'm telling you, the Coral Princess is the perfect ship. The perfect ship for Alaska, you guys. I can't even stress that enough. Went out on the back aft deck, went over to the starboard side, and put my camera up and started scanning this rock, and lo and behold, I found them. A couple of them anyway. I think I have two separate pictures of two different sets of goats. Oh my goodness. I was so happy to finally see the goats. I'd never been able to see them before. So there are the goats. And then a little while later, she said, oh, there's a humpback. There's a humpback over on the starboard side. So we ran back out there, and we never saw him or her, or whatever it was, on the starboard side. But a little bit later, on the port side, which is where our balcony looks off of, well, there was a humpback. And here's a little video that I actually was able to catch of the beautiful humpback whale, which it's very unusual to see a humpback whale that far into Glacier Bay.
There you go.
Now he's done.
But anyway, yesterday, the first glacier we came up to was Reed Glacier, all on the port side. That's another thing, too. I always recommend people book their staterooms on the port side. We always do because we like, it's more because of Marjorie. Sometimes they'll go in a different way and you'll see Reed Glacier and Lamplugh Glacier possibly on your way back out. Yesterday, we saw Reed Glacier first. And I don't have statistics. If I do, by the time I edit this and put it up, I'll type it up there so you can see the statistics for Reed Glacier. They're difficult to find for Reed, and I don't remember the park ranger saying anything about that. Then there's Lamplugh the Blue Glacier. As Cheryl reminded me yesterday, Lamplugh the Blue has always been a very blue glacier, and it calved on one of the sides, and it really was the true Lamplugh blue. The part to the right of it was not as blue yesterday, and we're not sure what was going on with that, but when it calved, you could see that it was the blue was coming back out. We think maybe a mudslide or something happened and got mixed in, which could, who knows? You know, nature does funny things. So there was Lamplugh. And then we went, we sailed by where the John Hopkins Inlet is. And he didn't try to even go down there. And it could be because the seals raised their pups on the calved ice at Johns Hopkins Glacier, you guys. So we never really saw, at least I didn't yesterday, Johns Hopkins. So it is a beautiful glacier, and normally we see Johns Hopkins Glacier. And yesterday it might have been because there were seals down there, and we just can't even go down there. And you know, they're very respectful of nature and what's happening. So, and I don't think we saw it coming back out. So we didn't see Johns Hopkins yesterday, and that's okay. That's okay. So then on we went, and the next glacier to come into view was the beautiful Marjorie Glacier. And we pulled up to Marjorie, the port side pulled up first, and we were sitting there looking at her for quite a long time. Quite a long time. And you can see I have some video footage of me zooming in and out and everything of Marjorie. I believe the statistics for Marjorie, and I will correct myself if I'm wrong, I want to say she is about 200 to 250 feet tall at her face, at her terminus, at her face. Raising up out of the water, plunging below the water. I believe she's another 100 feet down. I think it flows for 26 miles, and I don't know the mountain source right now. And it is an actively calving glacier. As you can see, the Bergy Bits, which are the icebergs, are called Bergy Bits and Growlers. And you can see the Bergy Bits and the Growlers. And I keep calling it a she. I don't know why I do that, but I don't know. Maybe because it's so pretty. I don't know, but really they don't refer to a glacier as a he or a she, so I should just say it. But anyway, it was actively calving because there were a lot of Bergy Bits and a lot of Growlers in the water, but we did not see it. We did hear the white thunder. Remember when I was talking about Hubbard, you can hear the cracking and the moaning and the groaning of the glacier as it moves forward. And you know, we did hear, and the Tlingit people called that white thunder, and we did hear that once or twice, but we did not see it calve. But nonetheless, it was an absolutely beautiful sight to behold, you guys. It really, really, really was. So ahead of the ship was the Grand Pacific Glacier. You really couldn't see much of it other than it just looked like a dark, kind of a very large, dark mound is what it looked like. It's a large glacier, and I don't know the statistics on that one. But it's one that I've never been truly in love with because it's dubbed the Dirty Glacier, and that's what it looks like. It looks dirty. So anyway, we sat there for probably a half an hour, and then he pivoted the ship so that the starboard side would have the same viewing pleasure, and we all took out of here. Barb, Dawn, Chris, and I went upstairs to eat lunch. But I took this little video when we were heading toward the buffet from aft to forward of Marjorie Glacier out the windows. And I took this video with the forethought that I would show it to you guys and beg you guys, when you are in Alaska and you are viewing these glaciers, get outside. I mean, you can see how beautiful Marjorie Glacier is. You can see it through the windows. But she's that much more beautiful, as you've seen in my videos that I've been showing you, when you are looking at her with the naked eye and not through blue glass, you guys. Get out and also take a deep breath of the air. Sorry. It's some of the freshest air you will ever smell. It's just pristine. It is pristine, untouched wilderness. It is amazing. It is just amazing. As you all know, I absolutely love Alaska. And so let me show you some pictures of the group here. Here's, I don't know what order I'll put them in, but I'll tell you who they are. One group is Cheryl and three folks that are, I'm not going to name them, but three folks that are sailing with her. She's a travel agent, and we booked through Cheryl for this one, and then Barb and Dawn and Chris and I, there we are, and just some other pictures. My outfit of the day was something warm. I had on jean jeggings. I had on knee socks. I had on sneakers. Well, some of the pictures might have me with my blue shoes on with my socks because there was so much to look at and I was running in and out. I couldn't even get my sneakers on. I had to take a minute to get my sneakers on. And even while I was doing that, there's a whale, there's an eagle, there's a this, there's a that. And I was like, wait, I got to get my shoes on. Wait, hang on. Tell that whale to wait. Tell that whale not to leave, you know? It's like, gee whiz. So some of the pictures might have me with my knee socks and my Fever Sole shorts. That was a fashion, Fever Sole shoes. That's a fashion statement I was making there. Or my Ked sneakers. But blue jean jeggings, a black turtleneck. Yes, a turtleneck. It is so cold, you guys. And then I had my blue, that isn't one of the Alaska jackets. And I gotta warn you guys, they have upped the price of those jackets for here on the ship. Now I'll be able to tell you in the next video what they are selling them for on land, because tomorrow we go to Skagway, then Juneau, then Ketchikan, and I'll check in those sport shops and let you know what they sell the same type of jacket for. But that blue jacket that you see, it is lovely and it is warm and it is so pretty to look at. It's such a pretty color, was $80. Now, because I'm elite, I got 10% off. So I just wanted to tell you that because that's elite gives you that perk to give you 10% off. But it was $80 nonetheless, even with my, with plus my 10%, but still. Now, they may put it on sale toward the end of the cruise. I don't know, or, whether they do that by habit, and at the end of each cruise, maybe they'll take a little bit off of it, or toward the end of the season they will. I'm not sure. So, but just to warn you, that jacket that you see me in there was $80, and I paid less 10% that for it because I love those jackets. They are the perfect jacket for Alaska cruising. They are. They're rain jackets. There's a hood that I could have unzipped and taken out if I needed it. It's got nice deep pockets. I don't know if that, I don't know whether it's reversible. I think it is because it's lined with fleece. I might type up there, yes, it's reversible, or no, it's not. I don't know. But I haven't tried to reverse it. And it does have Alaska on the, Alaska with some mountains on the chest there. Beautiful jacket. So that was my outfit of that day. While I'm sitting here talking, my outfit of this day is kind of spiffy. We're going to the Crown Grill this evening. Anyway, let me finish Glacier Bay and then I'll get back to this outfit. After lunch, we knew we would be sailing out of Glacier Bay, and in the same place that we saw the otters going into Glacier Bay, the otters started showing up as we were heading out of Glacier Bay, and the light was much better, and Chris went out there with our big camera with a 100-400 millimeter what is it, millimeter, Chris? Millimeter. I don't know. Millimeter lens. Went out there and he caught these pictures. Check out these otters, you guys. Oh my word. They were so cute. They flip and flop and turn and twist, and oh, they were so cute. And they're looking right at the camera. Now, let me tell you, they look like a little dot in the water with the naked eye. I cropped these pictures down majorly. So please, 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 if you don't have a camera like this and don't have a lens like this, take your binoculars. Don't go to Alaska without some binoculars. Barb had a really really nice pair of Boschell, I think, Bushnell. Thank you, Bushnell. And I'll give you a link if I can in my Amazon shop if I can find, or maybe I'll ask Chris to search for me and give me a link to one that I can put in my Amazon shop for you guys. They were lovely. They're autofocus, she said. They were autofocus. And boy, they're really nice. She got that idea from Jaylene because Jaylene has those on her boats, just to let you know that. So, and then Cheryl also had a pair of binoculars. So we don't usually take them, although I kind of wished I'd had a pair yesterday, honestly. So we might invest in a pair because we only bought one lens with us yesterday, and you can't see as well with the naked eye because you're on a cruise ship way up from the water. So these little otters that you see in the pictures here look just little in the water. They're really 6 feet long, you guys. That's how big they are. So Anyway, all in all, we had a lovely day in Glacier Bay, as always, and it touched my very, very soul. I did have a moment of quiet. Sorry. For myself, because I yearn to go back here. It just really is one of the places that I don't feel has been touched by man, and that you can really see God and feel God everywhere. I really feel that about Glacier Bay. That is the way I feel. And it may sound corny to some of you, but that's how I feel. So y'all know I can get kind of corny. So anyway, we went to dinner last night, and I came back here and crashed. I was so cold. I was cold to the bone, even with layered up with my turtleneck, and I had a scarf on. I also had a scarf on and that jacket and my fingernailless gloves and knee socks and sneakers, and I was just frozen. It was so cold. It was in the low 30s. They were predicting snow yesterday in Glacier Bay. It never did snow that we saw, but it was misty all day, and it was a wet cold. It was cold. So do come prepared. Layers, 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 like I always, talk about. Layers, layers, layers. I can see my time is running. I'm 27 minutes just talking about Glacier Bay. Oh my goodness, I'm glad I only did that. Just tell you about this cute little outfit, though. We are going to the Crown Grill this evening with Sherwin, Barb, and Dawn for dinner. The Crown Grill's dress code is always smart casual, but this is a cute little outfit with my red slacks. I got these years and years and years and years ago from Avenue, and unfortunately I cannot find a link for them. This top is from Amazon, and it is one of the puffy sleeved tops. The vest could be from Amazon, or it may be from Temu. I'm not sure. Black necklace, my little anchor and ship wheel earrings that Barb gave me, Brighton, and my medallion. And hair is nicely washed, so it's kind of like, whoo, kind of flat, but oh well. And so that'll be it for this evening. Tomorrow we will be in Skagway, and I will be getting off. We will be getting off and going into town to the little Christmas shop. So I'll be sure to catch some video of that for you guys and show you around Skagway a little bit. One of my favorites. We're not doing the train. We're not going up to the Yukon this time. We're just going to stay in town and kind of tootle around there and come back to the ship. And, that'll be our trip into Skagway. But anyway, that'll do it for today. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments. I'm trying to cover everything, but I may have forgotten something, or if something I've said has sparked a question, be sure to ask me. Again, I want to thank you guys who are watching me from here on the ship, and who have stopped me and seen me and given me your positivity and your appreciation. I thank you guys so much. For everyone in our group, you guys are amazing. All of you, every time I see you, I'm amazed at the wonderful positivity that comes from every single one of you. Miss Carrie and Mr. Jinx, the seeing eye dog, he is absolutely amazing. It's just this whole group just gives you the warm embrace. It feels like a big warm hug. So thank you guys so much for everything, and for all of you who have seen me who aren't involved with our group here, but know me from my YouTube channels or from the Facebook groups. Thank you so much for stopping me and saying that you recognize me and telling me that something I've said has helped you in some way, because that's why I do what I do here, to be of a help to others. So thank you guys. Please do subscribe if you would like to either to my Arlynn's Country Craft Corner channel or to my Arlynn's Travels channel. I am double posting here, but I would appreciate any subscription. It's free to subscribe, and then hit the notification bell so you never miss one of my uploads on either channel, and share it with your friends and family and coworkers, and that way they can also maybe get a little tidbit of information here and there. So thank you guys in advance for that. Thank you. I appreciate it. All right. Thank you also for stopping in here today. For those of you who might be struggling or suffering with a catastrophic illness, chronic pain, or have suffered a great loss, I hope that you have someone there with you, taking care of you, helping you get through each day, making the very, very best out of each day. I hope there's nothing weighing on your minds or your hearts, pulling your attention away from where you want it to be or from where it should be. I love y'all to bits, to bits, to bits. Hugs all around, and I keep you in my thoughts and my prayers every single day. And with all of that said, I'll just say, until next time, y'all take good care. Bye-bye.